Beyond Technical. Competitive gaming.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week of Beyond Technical. This week we're going to be covering something basically for the newest of new players. So I'm sure you can learn something regardless of how far into the game you are, but what we're going to be doing is keeping things really basic and simple, because one of the questions that I run into all the time is, I'm new and I suck, and how do I change that? Or what can I do that's going to make that better? So almost everybody I know gets overly frustrated with Street Fighter when they start playing, and they quit the game within the first month or two because they can't win, or they just constantly get matched up against 3,000 player point players when they're sitting at 200, and it's just frustrating to try and play like that. So what we're going to cover today is my personal take on what to do if you're brand new. Now, I've seen a lot of advice out there, but I haven't seen a lot of stuff in videos that actually keeps it simple. So today I'm going to make one basic assumption, and as long as you've got that much of the game down, then you're going to be okay for everything else. If you need to know any terminology or I say something weird, there are previous Beyond Technical videos I suggest checking out where I've talked through like the entire game and every little detail of like what all the things mean and what all the terminology is and that kind of stuff. Episode 2 for the Beyond Technical Street Fighter series if you're really interested in checking it out. But all that I want you to do is, if you've played the game and you've gone online and you've had a few ladder matches and maybe you tried a couple characters or something, and you have a basic concept of like how the game works, like you know that a Hadouken is a fireball, and you know that Shoryuken is like the uppercut move, you're pretty much good. Okay, we're gonna keep it that simple. So without further ado, let's hop in and I'll show you guys what I think, how I think you should tackle it if you want to advance up the ladder a little bit and start getting a little bit better. So I'm just going to do this in one solid take and see if this doesn't work for us. Whoa, that didn't. All right. So we've got everything prepped here. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to play Ryu, okay? Now, you're going to first off probably ask, why would I play Ryu? I like insert X character here. The reason you're going to learn Ryu is because everybody should learn Ryu. When you start the game, most of the characters are called Shotos, which means that they have these fireball moves, they have these uppercut Shoryuken moves, and they have these very basic attack styles. And then there's different Shotos that just kind of tweak this a little bit, but that's the standard character in Street Fighter. So if you're going to learn Street Fighter, the first thing you're going to want to do is learn a Shoto type character, at least for the first little while. If a couple weeks in you go, I hate this, I really like charge characters like Bison, then go play Bison, that's fine. But if you're struggling and you want to go up, here's my advice to you, is pick up Ryu. Ryu is the most standard basic character, and he's also played by arguably the best fighting game player in the world, Daigo Umehara. He mains Ryu. So that should give you some idea of how powerful this character can be if played properly. Alright, so now that we've picked up Ryu, and we know why we're going to pick up Ryu, the other thing to keep in mind too is not only are you going to learn how to play a Shoto, but you're going to learn how to play against a Shoto by learning how one works, okay? So now we're going to cover some basic stuff. You're going to hop in training mode, all right? And you're going to do exactly what I do here, and I'm going to show you, because I'm not a great Ryu player. I won't even remotely try to make that claim. I'm okay at best. I know how his moves work. I know a couple basic combos. That's about it. My Ryu knowledge is extremely simple, which I think is perfect for this kind of a tutorial, because we're not trying to get complicated. I'm not going to be doing uppercut, FADC, cancel into an ultra, because that's complicated. And I know you guys are probably, if you're new to the game, struggling just using your controller or your fight stick. So I know when I started, one of the things I wanted was to be able to, get a Shoryuken to come out every single time I tried it. That took me a long time to get that kind of control down. Today, it's not overly difficult for me. I mean, I'll still mess things up by all means, but I can pretty much hammer out all the moves I'm looking for when I want them. And it takes a long time to get there, so just keep that in mind as you're going through this, all right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a few normal moves, and we're going to learn the fundamentals of Street Fighter, because you will win a lot of games with fundamentals. Then I'll try and hop online. I'll see if we can't cover a game with fundamentals and just show you how well it will work. I don't guarantee a win, but I'm going to show you what you can do using just fundamentals, all right? So the fundamental start of Street Fighter is not jumping. You can jump by all means, but you need to use it more as like a neutral or defensive option. If you're jumping in, you're taking risks if you don't understand how that works. Now, jumping in is good, and doing like, cross-ups and stuff is an excellent way to go, but for now, we're just going to ignore jump-ins, all right? Jumping is a big mistake new players make. They jump all the time, and they jump into unsafe situations, because learning which situations are safe to jump into takes a while. So we're not going to jump much. Very, very rarely will we ever jump towards an opponent, okay? That's step number one. Keep that in mind. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to practice or check it as normals real quick, because we're going to do this poking game where we like play this this footsie style thing right here, and we're going to learn one main punish. Okay, so check out his footsies. You see, like, okay, that punch only goes to that line there on the screen. Meanwhile, that foot goes way beyond that line. So okay, I've got more range on my standing heavy kick than I do on my standing heavy punch. Just a little quick practice on stuff like this. Notably on Ryu, just so that you know, this crouching short, which is crouching medium kick, is awesome. It's super fast, and it pokes out a lot of stuff, and it keeps Ryu's body really low while he's doing it. His standing heavy punch can be used as like an anti-air or a poke trade, which is pretty good. It's pretty fast as well. Stuff like his roundhouse is good because it has lots of reach, but it's slow. You see how long it takes him to spin all the way around? Now, the way you can test this kind of stuff, if you're a new player, is hit the button and then hold backwards. And you see when he starts walking is when you're recovered from the ability. So that shows you how long it takes. We're not going to go into frame data because that's complicated. We're just going to go, okay, look at how much longer that one takes versus this medium kick thing, right? So after you played around with his normals, you got a basic idea. You know, his jabs and like the shorter buttons are obviously going to be quicker, but they don't go nearly as far. So you learn his notable moves, which is crouching medium kick. Standing heavy punch is pretty good. Crouching medium punch is also not too bad. It's pretty fast, but the crouching medium kick's usually going to be your better option. And then your sweep is your knockdown move. So if you hit that, they're going to fall down. So that's good too. All right. So the other one that I really want to cover, because it's super important, we're going to use it a lot right now, is crouching heavy punch. It just goes straight up. Okay. Now, the reason we're going to cover that is because, again, these shoryukens are hard to do. You might not be able to get them every time. So for now, we're just going to start with learning how to use crouching heavy punch to stop jump-ins. So when other players are around your level and they jump at you, you're going to crouching heavy punch them. Okay? It's that easy. You can use fireballs when you're far away to try and entice people to come towards you. And then when they come towards you, you just switch up with that crouching heavy punch. So you shoot your Hadoukens, and then when they're getting closer, you want to be careful because at this range, if you shoot a Hadouken and he jumps, you're going to eat a lot of damage for it, okay? Now, the other thing I want to cover before we go online, so as long as you know how to do your shoryuken, you can anti-air with a shoryuken. Using the heavy is usually best. It hits for, I believe, 120, or sorry, 160. Wow, that number was way off. 160, and it works pretty well as an anti-air, except it trades sometimes. The lighter ones have different invincibility on them, but we're not going to get too much into that because, again, that's getting complicated, okay? So your heavy punch shoryuken, your fireballs, which is the 3 different punches, shoot them at different speeds. They all hit for the same damage. Your crouching heavy punch is going to be important, and then just these footsie moves, right, with the sweep and the jabs and stuff like that. These basic abilities, okay? And we're going to basically, what we're going to do is we're going to get people to jump at us. We're going to shut down their jump-ins, and then they're going to want to stay on the ground. And then when they're on the ground, we're going to beat them with these normal moves. That's the fundamentals of the game. You can win a lot of matches without really knowing much about a character just by knowing how to use their fundamentals. So that's what we're going to practice. And this kind of stuff will should get you well beyond 1,000, maybe 1,500 player points, just knowing how to do their fundamentals and being kind of crappy at their special inputs. So most new players really focus on specials. We're not doing that. So that's pretty much it. The only other thing we're going to cover is a punish combo. So let's say that you're blocking and they do a heavy punch shoryuken and it doesn't land. It whiffs, okay? Whiff means miss. So when that misses, they have a long time. Look how far this walking thing we're going to do to see how long before we can move. See how long before I can move? I'll go backwards. There you go. That's a lot of time. So if they do that, you're going to punish with this Ryu combo, which is this forward heavy punch. It's the most complicated thing we're going to cover. Forward heavy punch, which does this 2-hit combo. Then it's a little bit tricky, but give it a couple minutes of practice. You should have it pretty easily. Forward heavy punch, and then you can cancel into this heavy punch shoryuken. It's a 3-hit combo. It deals 260 damage. So if they screw something up, you're going to do 260 damage to them. What that does is it's going to take off about 1/4 of most people's health bars. Most health bars are 1,000 health, okay? That's the most complex thing we're going to cover today. So crouching heavy punch, crouching medium kick, forward heavy punch into shoryuken. Oh, I didn't even do it there. There we go. And your straight heavy punch shoryuken if you need it, okay? There. Now, let's hop online and give this a shot and see how it works. If this takes me a while to get into a game, we're just going to cut right now and then jump to the actual match itself. We'll see if we can't find an endless because I'm pretty bad at Ryu, and that might give us at least an idea of what kind of player we're going to be going up against. No? All right. Let's just make one. Okay, so the reason that we're focusing on fundamentals and not all this other complex stuff is because the complex stuff will come with time. You have to learn how to use the controller. Look at this thing. It's not small, it's not dainty, it's complicated. And using this stick and all the inputs in Street Fighter is by far the most complicated I've ever seen. There's nothing that's going to replace good old-fashioned practice, okay? just putting time into this game is how you're going to get better. There's a lot of complicated stuff to learn at the top tier, but right now let's just keep it simple and fun because this game needs more players. I love Street Fighter. It's a lot of fun, but unlike other games that I play competitively like League of Legends or StarCraft, there is no low tier in this game. When you start playing, everybody I know gets instantly frustrated because they're always losing. And I know when I hopped into this game, it was, if I didn't have the determination and willpower I've got, there's no way I would have gotten good at this thing. It's just, you lose and lose and lose and lose and lose. So we're going to take these fundamentals, we're going to apply them, and we're going to see if we can't get a good match. Looks like this has taken some time, so let's just use the magic of video editing and fast forward to the match. All right. That was a quick jump, wasn't it? A lot faster for you guys than it was for me. So we're going to pull out our Ryu. We're fighting a Yun. Okay, now Yun, luckily I know a few things about the characters that you guys might not know. But Yun, basically, the one thing I'm going to tell you about Yun is that he dive kicks. That's the main point that you need to know. He dive kicks, which makes his crouching heavy punch kind of tough to anti-air with because his dive kicks make him attack faster in the air than normal. So remember, we're just going to try and use these crouching heavy punches to keep him off of us. That crouching medium kick to zone him out, and the Hadoukens. Alright, little combo there to get some pressure off. I know that's a little bit advanced, but we're gonna go back to these fundamentals at this point. Oh, and throwing is gonna count too. So a lot of blocking, a lot of this other stuff, and let's see. There we go. See it? Crouching heavy punch. We're really focusing on using these normals to keep him off us. See, look how well this is working. This guy's 2,400 player points. Alright. I'm using very, very few tools. Crouching heavy punch, crouching medium kick, Hadouken. I did one combo that entire time. And it's working. There we go. That was a nice little command throw of him. Now, there's a bunch of stuff I want to be doing right now, but we're just going to keep using these normal tools and see how we do. See, look, he doesn't want to jump at me anymore because he knows I've been crouching heavy punching him. Nice little throw there. Start one of those heavy punch shurikens I've been talking about. And there you go. Nice neutral jump. As I said, we're not going to jump forward at all. So if you watch that, you can see how this guy is a decently high rated player. And sorry there, Shin, but I'm just going to give you the one round for this one. So what you can see there is that this guy is a decently high-rated player, and using purely the fundamentals of Street Fighter, you can hop into a match, and that's the first match I played, by the way. I filmed this video before, and it was really flickery, so I've had to do it twice. It's worked both times. Every time I play Ryu, I just go right down to pure fundamentals, because most players can't handle it. You don't need a bunch of fancy tricks if you want to win in Street Fighter. Learn your basics. Those basics are going to take you really, really far, and if I can beat a 2,400 player point player with just the basics on Ryu, and not really any idea how to play him, no knowledge of his frame data, very, very few tricks or anything going on, just pure, straight-up fighting, I think you guys can pull it off too. So give it a shot, have fun. You'll start winning a lot more if you just learn to play with those fundamentals. You don't need a lot of specials. I think I used very, very few beyond Hadouken. So give it a shot. I hope this helps you guys, and I hope you guys can direct, if you're a more advanced player, I hope you can direct your newer friends to this, because that's what I'm hoping to make here. I'm new and I suck. How do I get better? Straight up video. So give that a shot, and then from there, start adding new features on. If you want to start getting more in-depth and more advanced, go and check out, there's a really good matchup, you'll see it on YouTube, Daigo Umehara versus Alex Valle. They both play Ryu, and they both main Ryu, and you can watch what they do when they're in certain situations. Say, like Daigo lands an EX Fireball, and then he cancels that straight into his Ultra. That's really, really fast to do all those inputs, but if you can land that sort of stuff, you're going to see your play go up and up and up even further from there. It's the better reactions you get to things, the better you're going to do. So if you want to advance your play beyond these basics, that's a great place to start. Check out two of the best players in the world on Ryu and just kind of mimic their play style a little bit. Those guys are really phenomenal at their Ryu play. Other than that, thank you very much for watching Beyond Technical. If you're catching this on the Beyond Technical channel, you guys should also check out crosscounter.tv. We're doing a little bit of a partnership with them, Beyond Technical and Crosscounter, so expect to see some content on both websites. If you're checking this out on Crosscounter, please head over to the Beyond Technical YouTube and subscribe on there if you guys like the content. There's also a Facebook page, so you can follow Beyond Technical on Facebook, where I'm going to keep posting updates and stuff when things are coming out. And there's, of course, Twitter accounts, and everything should be linked and spinning on the video and all that fun stuff. So I will catch you guys next week. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, hope I can help at least somebody pick up Street Fighter and start playing. It's a great game. See you guys next time.